How liquid is the market at the moment?
Well, I think morale has been incredibly high lately. We had a month of June, which was exceptional. We closed sales 23% higher than years past, and I think that was, partly due or mostly due because of the mansion tax. But I think there's a pool of potential sellers and buyers that are working together, and we're getting deals done. So that's a very good thing.
Would that be within New York City?
That's New York City. I mean, that market is, it's been more of a buyer's market, but because we've had a price correction, and I think sellers have come down to the planet Earth, that's helped us a bit. So buyers and sellers can, have a meeting of the minds, and we can get a deal done, which has been really helpful for the market overall.
So is this a reflection of demand, or is it just how the market is built in the sense that just new developments are closing at this moment?
You make a good point. I think there was a big chunk of new developments that were closing in the second quarter, which helped. But, supply and demand, there's been a little bit of a lag because we had oversupply and demand has not caught up to that because the prices have been out of whack. So I think now we said sellers, get reasonable, cut your prices, and you can get a deal, and buyers are working with them. So I think that's helped overall morale. Of
course, we'll get the Fed decision this week. We're expecting a rate cut of perhaps 25 basis points. Does that help the luxury market?
I think so. I mean, it just helps overall because people feel like they're inspired to purchase, and I think that helps morale. I mean, the $25 million market is kind of the outlier. I mean, you hear about all of that. People love to hear about those big deals. But the regular, $2, $3, $5 million deals are really the bread and butter of New York City.
We just saw that board up there, and we saw that Manhattan prices fell. Also, same thing for the Hamptons. But Brooklyn, average apartment prices rose 3% over the past year. What's different there?
I just think Brooklyn is a place, it's interesting because people are actually leaving the Upper East Side and moving to Brooklyn. Brooklyn has great schools. It's an exciting environment. It's younger. More millennials want to live there. I mean, most millennials want to be in an environment that's a little bit more trendy. And so if you want to be trendy, you go to Brooklyn. And Brooklyn's a great place. We have offices there, and we love Brooklyn.
So what's the outlook for the rest of the year then?
I'm really positive. I think 2019 is going to end much better than 2018. We're already doing better numbers than last year. And July, people thought we were going to fall off a cliff after June because of the mansion tax, that we did so much business in June. But July has been great. We've had a really good, solid July. So I'm optimistic.
Does your optimism also apply to the Hamptons, where it's been a little bit more challenging, right?
I am going to be a little bit measured with that. The Hamptons is a seasonal market, so we've had a little bit more of a rough go in the Hamptons, but we are doing some big deals out there. We have some big deals that are closing, so it's a little bit of a trade here and there.
How much has that market been affected by the new tax laws, especially the tax package? You cannot really deduct as much of the property taxes as you would want.
The SALT tax, yeah. I mean, I think it's a factor, and when you're purchasing, you think, okay, now I'm capped at $10,000. So people have to factor that into their decision-making process. So it's all going to be a negotiation. At the end of the day, it's a negotiation.
So what does it mean? Is it a good time to go buy right now when you have listings apparently surging at the same time?
I think it's the prime opportunity for buyers right now to get in there because they can negotiate, they can talk to sellers, and they can get a deal done. And it's New York City. I mean, it's a great time to purchase in New York.
Yeah, for those listening, right?
For those listening,
it's a good time apparently.